All right, so let's get started. Today I'm going to be drawing our cute little dog Bento. Here's a picture of him here as a Tiki mug, which I thought would be a ton of fun. I did an art piece like this before, and so I thought it might be fun for practice just to do a non-digital version of that here. So this one will be a little bit different in that we'll be using colored pencils along with marker, and I've got those off to the side here. You can see those there. And the paper we're using this time is also a little different as well. Don't ditch your class, Brandon. That's pretty funny. All right. Paper we're using is a bigger sheet of what I've used earlier. It's this Strathmore Tone Tan paper. And I like it. I like the color of it. The gray is good too. It's just a nice sketching paper. It's not going to hold up very well if you're going to try to put, watercolor or gouache or acrylic paint on there. It's not good for that. It doesn't have the weight of that. But for sketching like this and some ink work, it works pretty well. So today I've got this drawing, and I've already done just a blue pencil on it to get it started because I kind of want to keep it not that long, 20 to 30 minutes or so if possible. So we're going to jump right into it. I'm using a Pentel brush pen, which I've used in the other videos, and we're going to just work the outlines first. I'm going to put this maybe right there. Put it out of the way a little bit. I'm still working on trying to get those little wavy lines there. Still trying to work on keeping that to a minimum. Hope you all are having a good Tuesday so far. It started earlier like it was going to rain, and then it just kind of the sun broke out a little bit, so that's good. And I have to reference what I did because I tend to come in here and do rough mock-ups of what I'm planning to do. I just wanted to check that again. If you're wondering about the music I'm playing, this is that company Epidemic Sound, which gives you kind of like a royalty-free license once you're part of their subscription program to use their music and YouTube videos and whatnot. And so what I did was, I do use it when I do YouTube videos, although I haven't done that many of those lately. I'll use it for that, and since I have that license to use it, I just go ahead and download a bunch of songs, throw them in iTunes, put them on shuffle. So this is most of the songs from their big band collection. Something like that. Oh, look at that. Now I got a smudge. That's okay. Okay. Let's see. I'm just glancing over at my original sketch that I did earlier for practice, just to see how I want to do this. Alright, I'm good with the brush pen on that part. Let's switch on over to something a little thicker. We're going to use this guy, It's a Pentel sign pen. I guess they make a bunch of different sizes of this, and I bought one of their little starter kits that has all those. Some of this detail, this wood detail, for example, I'm going to add that later after. So we're going to do some colored pencil work, just a little bit. And I think this ink will show up better if I throw it on there after I've done that pencil work. Oh, and if you happen to watch the live stream yesterday where I was doing that drawing of Joe Exotic, I got some awesome comments on Facebook afterwards about the parts that I was missing. And for example, he has like a pair of handcuffs hanging from his belt that I missed those, which is kind of funny. And I forgot, I guess he has a ring in his eyebrow. So I missed those too. That was kind of funny though. It was kind of funny to see what other people caught that I missed. Okay, so I'm going to do some colored pencil stuff first, or next. Before I do that, I do want to ask you all, if you like this, to please like and comment. If you're watching this on Facebook, you can follow me there at Fine Art by Eric is the page that today I'm posting this video. I'm running this video from there. In the past, I've been using my personal account, but this time I'm going to try to throw it up on the business page. So Fine Art by Eric, you can search me up there. And on Instagram, I'm streaming this at Fine Art by Eric. You can watch it there as well. I would appreciate if you like it, comment on it. I don't know if you can share it or heart it or whatever it is. If you're watching now, I appreciate that. Okay. Colored pencils, here they are. So I'm using faber-castell colored pencils for these, and I just kind of did some tests earlier to figure out which ones I'm going to use where to make this work. Not going to be super detailed colored pencil work because I've not done much with it, to be honest, with colored pencils in the past. But the good thing is when you have ink work down, it'll work nicely with that from what I've seen so far. This is kind of like markers in a way that you, at least I've found with this paper, kind of want to leave the areas. Well, it gets darker, put it that way. That's how it's like markers. It gets darker as you press down harder or color over it. So it's really difficult to figure out a way to make something lighter once you've already got a tone down. So like markers, like watercolor, if you use that, if you want something white, you kind of need to leave it, let it be, or paint that light color first and then go in with the darks. Light to darks is the way to kind of work. So, for example, here I'm just gonna get this yellow highlight down, and then afterwards I can come in here and do the dark areas. There are, if you're into colored pencils at all, there are definitely some masters out there, and I am not one of them. So down here, I thought it might be interesting to do some shading in a way that kind of suggests some depth rather than just one solid color going all the way down, like I did with the ears. And I'm just looking over here at this little sample sheet I did before I started this, and it looked like I went with like a brighter color here on these ridges first. That. Hey, Scott. And then down here, I thought this part might catch that highlight. Alright, that might be a nice little highlight, and we're going to come in here and just build up layers underneath it. This is probably the first piece I've done with colored pencils I can think of, at least, that wasn't just like a little test. So that's why I'm not going to push myself out there as being any kind of an expert, because I'm just kind of winging this. So that might be like our nice little mid-tone orange. We're going to go into the darker one here. People who are really good with color pencils will just spend hours like getting the perfect blend. And I think that's what kind of turned me off to using them as a I don't know, primary way to do art. I'm impatient in that way. I have a background in photography, commercial photography, and I remember my wife early on in our marriage, maybe it was one of my birthdays, got me a film camera, and this is before I got into photography, and I just remember just being frustrated with it and just tossing it aside eventually, because I hated the fact that I needed to take the picture and develop it, and then try to remember what I did on a particular image as far as settings and whatnot to figure out how to improve. And that was just, I got over that in a hurry. And then digital hit, and that was around the time we had our first son, Brandon. So that's Canon 20D 2005-ish. And when that hit, then I was like, oh man, I can take a shot and see rather immediately what's going on with this, lighting wise or whatever I'm trying to do. And that was a game changer for me. That immediately, it's like I remember spending like every day, like just reading every book I can and just test after test after test. This didn't work. Why did this not work? And if I pulled out some of those old shots, they're horrible in terms of lighting, but they do show a progression in terms of getting better over time. And that's just one of the great things about digital, and that's great no matter whether it's digital photography or it's digital art, digital music. If you were doing any kind of, I was doing film scoring there for a while, and I remember just being able to load up entire orchestras in the computer and just really hearing something immediate as far as how it sounded and getting that instant feedback. And so I think overall, it's a blessing and a curse. I'd say overall it's a good thing. Overall it's a blessing. The curse comes in because if you're trying to stand out, everybody is doing that now. So it's no longer that you can make, on the film score side, for example, something that sounds like John Williams from the 80s. You could easily go get the gear and the instruments that are going to give you that big sound, assuming you have the skill to do it. But everyone now has access to that. So now you've got to find some way to differentiate yourself, which is going to it's tougher because you thought for a while, I just have to learn how to write music and get access to those tools, and then when you get them and realize everyone else has them and they can get that sound rather easily, trying to differentiate yourself becomes super hard. And that's the same on the music side, that's the same on the art side, and definitely the same on the photography side. I mean, it does not take a ton of practice to get very competent in your work, especially if you're getting that immediate feedback of what you need to do. All right, let's see. I'm gonna go lighter but then darker on these eyes a little bit. So I don't know, we'll start with this. And go to this shade. I think this is really going to pop at the end, just like the other stuff, when we get to the part of adding a white highlight to some of these edges. I think it's going to look awesome. So I'm going to go just even a little darker. I hope this video is coming through okay, because we're also in the middle of 1 o'clock is the start of our kids' second batch of school. You know, they have like a morning session and an afternoon session, and so it sucks up the bandwidth. Although, if one of them was not in school right now, he would be, I could tell you exactly, he would be playing Fortnite with friends. So maybe he's using less bandwidth. Okay, I can't wait. I've got to do some. We're going to use this Sigma pen, the Sigma Uniball Broad pen. I've just got to hit this thing with a little highlight just to see what it does. Because I'm looking at these eyes going, that's going to be really cool, and I don't want to wait. So here we go. Yes, perfect. Love it. And the good thing with this pen, it's like a paint marker, and once you, I guess once you let it dry a little bit, you can kind of go back over that with a pencil and change the color if you want a little bit, to a degree. All right, let's keep working. Let's see. Just looking at my sample image here to see how I did something. Okay, I can already tell this needs a little bit more. Hi Renee, how are you? I hope you're doing well. Hey Danette, how's it going? I hope you got, did you wrap up all of your Tiger King episodes? good. All right, next part down. This is going to be like this. Working a little bit faster because I'm trying to keep this to a reasonable time. Oh, you just finished. Awesome. So I heard that if you Google, there's an article out there. I forget. Not Vox. It was maybe it was Vogue. I don't remember. One of those ones wrote like a "Where Are They Now" kind of write-up, which is hilarious. Brandon, are you still on or are you back at school? My son was watching earlier. All right. So, oh, you took a, you would be this, then that would be Saf. She took the what Tiger King person would you be? Ooh, that's a good question. I might have to take that quiz. I don't know. I don't know who I would be on that one. Because, and we talked about this yesterday, there's just no good person. Like, even the cop who was investigating all that, he, if you watch that interview with him, he's saying all the right things and he's got a good demeanor and all of that. But if you look at his surroundings, he's just got weird tables and animal stuff lying around. And I don't mean like animal stuff like hunting kind of stuff. I get that. It's not that. It's like just a weird mix match of different things that you're like, how does he, that does not all work together. All right, so this is a situation where the blue pencil that I put down, if you can tell, it's kind of already losing some of its value there because of what I'm putting down over it. But that's okay because I'm actually going to throw that white marker down again in that area to make those ice cubes stand out a little bit. And then once it dries, I can somewhat go back in there with that blue pencil and hit it again. Let's see, watch. Here we go. Something like that. All right. Next up, this area down here. So, yes, they are all crazy. This area down here we got, which is going to pretty much be like this top area. I'm just looking at my sheet of where I did things. Okay, so we're going to go highlight first. Maybe one here. We'll throw some in here. Something like that. I've been thinking I want to do something coming up soon with some acrylic gouache, which if you saw that picture I posted, the bird from Florida, the Florida bird, that was a gouache picture. It was all right. It wasn't on the best paper, and so what ends up happening is it starts to, as soon as it gets wet, it starts to buckle a little bit, and ends up being more difficult to work with, but it was okay. I mean, certainly wasn't my most favorite thing ever, but I think I could do something better. It's just a matter of what can I do in the time that I have. I don't want to spend an hour, although I am spending an hour. So we're 35 minutes. But that does bring up a good point. If you have any ideas of things I could draw, please reach out and let me know, because I'm looking for things that are interesting. And not only that, I'm looking for stories of people, of families that are doing amazing things, and it doesn't have to be grand, huge gestures right now, like they've, converted their house into, making ventilators. But if there's something that you know of that somebody's doing that's really cool, that's just being helpful in the community, or they found a way to really connect with their family or their kids or whatever, I'd love to hear that, because I think there might be something fun there to do, to tell some of those stories and kind of connect that way, other than me just randomly picking things that I see and doing something based on that. Okay, getting to the part where we're going to do some more inking. Well, actually, let's contrast this with, so I have a little bamboo table here, and 3 colors here, just a dark, a light, and a medium. Let's see how I did that. Dark, medium, light. Okay, so that's going to go... Oh crap, which one was my dark? That was my dark. It's going to go... Sorry, dark, light, medium. It's going to be like this. And then it's going to be backed up by that. I'm just doing this right now just to remind me what I'm going to do. Okay. Before I get started on this section, I just want to ask real quick, if you're enjoying this and you want to see more or have ideas, please reach out and let me know. Here's Bento, but first off, this is the dog right here. This is our Shiba Inu Bento that I'm doing this drawing based off of. So this is his baby picture from 2 years ago. He's much more full grown now, but he is a Shiba Inu, which is a Japanese warrior dog. They like to hunt, and so he's incredibly bored at our house because all we have are cats, and they will not put up with him. But anyways, if you like this, I'd appreciate checking out my other work at Fine Art by Eric. That's my Instagram page, and if you're on Facebook watching this, you can see that there as well, and YouTube is Fine Art by Eric as well. So yes, please like and comment. So I'm so fancy with these, but I would appreciate any likes or comments you could do, because I think that kind of, on both Instagram and Facebook, if they see people interacting with it, they'll start showing it to more people. All right. So if you're wondering where I got the idea for this, I've done some digital pieces and actually one painting piece of turning people and family and pets into Tiki mugs or Tiki carvings. And this is from that. I did a digital version of our pets as mugs, and I've posted it maybe once or twice, but you can find it in the feed. But the idea is to do that for families. And so this was an easy subject to do because I'd already done it. There are about 1 million different brands of colored pencils out there. I got the faber-castell because they were the ones that were easiest to get at our, let's say, high-end art store, but our art store that's really for professionals. You can go to Michael's, for example, and get Prismacolors, and that's what I used to do just the sketch work. They're good. A lot of people do really good work with that. I just heard better things about these. Another popular brand is called Caran d'Ache, which is a French brand, and they actually work really well, as I've heard, for blending between shades. Like that's like what their real focus is. But where they don't do so great is trying to get hard lines, from what I'm hearing. But who knows? I'm sure there's people that do good with this, no matter what brand you're using. Okay, quickly throw down this mid-tone. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask, because I've got both Facebook and Instagram open right now, and I can kind of multitask. I can sketch and glance over at the same time. Before we bust out more ink on this, because we're going to do some a little bit of the detail work and some of the highlights again, I'm going to just quickly throw down like a nice complement to this orange. Probably would be this nice blue, so we're going to just do something like this. I can hear all the colored pencil people out there right now going, no, you're doing that wrong. That's not the way to quickly cover an area. And oh well. It will work for what I'm doing. And we'll just come in with a darker shade. Cool. All right, let's do some of this detail work. I'm going to use a micron pen. This is a marker. This is an 05. Oh, actually, before that, I wanted to come in here and hit this part with pencils. I forgot about that. Hey Dave, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. I am doing, trying to do a sketch a day. And so this is day number 3. This is our dog Bento. He's a Shiba Inu, and so I decided to turn him into a Tiki mug. Let's see. Oops. Oh, actually, that's right. Yeah, so I was like, oh, what's going on here? This is wrong. And then I remembered I actually did kind of draw this at an angle originally. Like it's not a head-on mug. It's kind of turning to one side a little bit. So that is kind of how I intended it when I drew it. So to try to sell that a little bit, I'm going to use a white charcoal pencil, Chinese white by Durant. And I'm just going to see if coming in here kind of makes it. Yeah, I'm not liking that very much. But we can go right over it. All right, back to our mic horn. So yeah, so it's turned slightly at an angle. So that means that as I come down to here, get this bit of a okay, that's not big band. I downloaded some music from Epidemic Sound, which I use for video work, and I decided to use their big band collection, and this sounds like, I don't know, country to me. Or maybe it's country mixed with like Brian Setzer, however you say that. So yeah, a lot of times I feel like it's this, these last sets of details, which really I'm looking forward to. Like the whole process is coming down to these last sets of details. I'm going to turn off that ding. Sorry about that. So I'm curious what you guys are up to. I know Scott's working on art. He's got a huge art project that he's working on that's going to be amazing. And the stuff he's shown me looks incredible. Hi, Katie. now we're going to go on to the highlight pen, which I used earlier. This awesome Uniball Signo roller. All right, so now I got to kind of make a decision on how I want this, how I want these highlights to be. And I think what I had decided when I practiced this earlier was I was gonna. Oops, don't get white ink on your hands. Let that dry. It's good. Yeah, I just love this. I love this part of the process. I love getting these highlights in here. It's like the ice cream after dinner. I just have to control myself because I like ice cream, too much of it will add on the pounds that I don't want. Okay, we're almost wrapped up. So we're going to try to hit this part up here with some pencil just to see if that dried well enough to... Yeah, it's okay, nothing great. Just going to lightly go over it. Just doing one last glance over to see if there's anything else that I think we are going to call this done. So thank you all for watching. Like I said, if you enjoyed watching this at all or got anything out of it, please like or comment, and also you can visit my Instagram at Fine Art by Eric, and that's also on Facebook. It's at Fine Art by Eric as well. And let's see, that's it. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Tomorrow I'm gonna hopefully tackle something new, and so maybe I'll get back to just pencils and ink rather than the colored pencils. But thanks again for joining. I hope you have a great day, and we'll catch you later on. Take care.